What's going on, guys? Welcome back to your Lake Fork Guide. It's summer bass fishing at Lake Fork. And right now, that means she's too hot to handle. We are doing our bi-weekly reports this week. Hey, my buddy Chris couldn't be here for our podcast, so we thought on Sunday night we would go ahead and post our report video for you guys to consume. Basically what we do on these report videos, we get multiple guides. Sometimes we talk about multiple lakes. I think this week we're actually only talking about Lake Fork, but oftentimes our guides fish more lakes than just Fork due to wind conditions. Just if the bite gets slow, whatever may have you. They may have customers that are really novice and Fork fish are a little harder to catch than some other lakes. So oftentimes some of our guides visit other lakes, myself included, and we'll include a multi-lake report. But right now here lately, man, Lake Fork's been fishing pretty good for the most part. And so I think all of our guys are pretty much staying on Lake Fork. All of our reports do come from Lake Fork this week. We'll flip through some pictures. If you guys follow us on Facebook, you could have read these reports on Friday night and seen these pictures as well. But of course, y'all saw that one in the thumbnail right there. And then I'll just show you guys a few more. Can't even see what I'm doing right here. Hopefully all those pictures are showing up. But as we scan through these pictures, you can well see that there's some big fish being caught on Lake Fork over the last couple of weeks since we did our last report. But as you can see, the fishing has been extremely good on Lake Fork for the most part. You know, you have your tough days, you have your good days like always. We're going to break down and go in depth from several different guides around the lake, tell you guys exactly what type of areas they're fishing, exactly what type of baits they're using, just give you guys an old school in-depth report like you used to see on some websites. The only difference was sometimes those reports would stay there for weeks at a time, months at a time. They would give the report a couple weeks after the fishing patterns that they were talking about, and it was kind of a little bit misleading. You couldn't always get real current and precise information. Our goal here on these report videos and report posts on Facebook is to help you guys get current, good reports, better than has ever been offered before, from a variety of different guides that are full-time fishermen. Yeah. If you don't know, meet Miss Laney McCoy, Princess Laney, my significant other, the one that puts up our full-time job, folks. Putting up with me, it's a full-time job, right, babe?
It's about 3 full-time jobs.
3 full-time jobs?
Yeah.
Man.
Without the pay.
But you get paid in other ways, babe.
Okay.
Yeah, you get paid in many other ways. It's not all about money.
You're right.
It's not all about the money. Anyways, this is Miss Laney. If you don't know her, she's going to help me read some reports tonight. Before we get into that, I do want to go ahead and plug something real quick, and that is our charity tournament. This is a tournament we do every year. It's coming up fast now, July 4th weekend. Registration is going to be July 1st. Open team tournament on July 2nd. Then your Lake Fork Guide/celebrity tournament will be held on Sunday, July 3rd. This is for a great cause. If you've never heard of it, don't know anything about it, it's called the Fish Life Forever Grateful Tournament. And it benefits an organization known as One Trap Foundation, formerly known as 22 Kill. 22 Kill is now a part of One Trap Foundation, but basically it goes to help mental health needs of veterans and first responders. Speaking from my own experience as a veteran and all the veterans that I know, I think this is the thing that is most needed. The reason that I picked this charity to support with our tournament that we put on every year is because this is what can help veterans the most. This is where the help is the most needed. It's the thing that's the least talked about. It's the thing that's the least discussed. It's always kind of swept under the rug. People don't want to discuss it. It's an uncomfortable conversation to have. Speaking from my own personal experience, as well as friends of mine, this is what is needed the most to help the veterans and the first responders of this nation. The mental health issues that occurred, I mean, people don't realize. And we could go in depth and have a whole video, and in fact we will in the next couple weeks have a whole video on this subject and this topic right here. When you sign up and go to boot camp, you will never be yourself again. I will never be Billy Lawson prior to 2005 again. September 19th, 2005 was the last time that I was the original Billy Lawson. I'll never be that guy again. My mind will always be different. It'll always work different. I'll never quite feel like myself. And there's so many things that are so hard to function in a modern society, especially. It's getting harder each year that I get older to function and be accepted in a modern society with the way that my mind works. And a lot of that is due to going through what I went through in the Marine Corps, even on just the training aspect alone. Like I said, as soon as you go through boot camp, the way you think, everything changes. So a lot of veterans struggle with a lot of mental health stuff. And they're not bad people. They're not killing machines. It's not how it is. It's a very hard thing to articulate and explain to people if you haven't gone through it. For you guys out there that are watching, drop it in the comments. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a struggle, man. It really is for every one of them. And it's something that really needs to be addressed more than it already is. And One Try Foundation and 22 Kill does a great job. They spend their money very efficiently, very effectively. They're the best organization I've found that is addressing the biggest issue with veterans and first responders. And of course, me being a veteran myself, I love our veterans and first responders. I love this country. I love the men and women that serve this country, and I want to do whatever I can to support them. So that tournament's coming up. It's for a great cause. We'll be posting banners about it every week, giving you guys some information. But it's going to be at Lake Fork Marina, July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Did I cover everything about our event? Did I miss anything?
Did you talk about registration?
Yep. Registration is Friday night, starting at 6 p.m., July 1st.
We'll
Yep.
have an auction that night as well.
We will have auction items. So the format is it's a 70% payback on the open team tournaments, a 70% payback to the anglers, 30% goes to the organization. The auction items are 100% donated back to the organization. The Sunday tournament, you have to bid to get a partner in the guide/celebrity tournament. So you get your Lake Fork Guide celebrity or a guide as a partner and compete in that tournament. Okay. And all the money that you spend on your partners in that event are going to go straight to the organization. So tons of money raised. We make nothing off of it. We make not $1 off this deal. There's nothing in it for us other than helping this organization out that does such a good job helping our vets and first responders. So we would love to see you out there. We'd love to make this year bigger and better than ever. Please do join us. I think I've rambled enough about that. I love that topic. We need a separate video on that topic because we could go way in depth on it. But it's about fishing reports, and it's about Lake Fork. Man, she's just too hot to handle. Am I talking about you, or am I talking about Lake Fork?
I don't know.
Probably we could go either way on that. But what I'm actually talking about, since this is a Lake Fork report, and I don't mean to disappoint you, but we're talking about Lake Fork. Guys, it has gotten so hot, so fast, all of a sudden, it's like 100 degrees or round about that every day. The wind has finally stopped blowing when we finally need it to blow. All spring long, the wind blew 20 mile an hour every day, every day, every day. Now it's 100 degrees every day. Now the wind don't want to blow. What's up with that?
I don't know.
Great insight as always. No, it has gotten so miserable hot out there, but that's not a bad thing, guys. With the lake being low water conditions, Lake Fork's about 5.5 to 6 foot low. They drew it down this past winter to work on the dam. It has not come up any. With the lake being low, there's no vegetation to speak of in the water. There's starting to be some pop up here and there, but not any real significant amounts that are going to hold fish throughout the summer, and not in the depths that would hold fish throughout summer. We don't have the vegetation. So with that being said, once we get to the summertime patterns, pretty much most of the fish, I mean, not all of them, you can't ever say all of them. It's always going to be shallow fish, always going to be deep fish. But most of the fish are going to make their way to deeper water, offshore structure areas this summer. So with this heat coming on and a lack of wind, it's allowing the water temps to really climb rapidly. What that's doing is pushing more and more fish into summertime type of areas, summertime haunts. As this continues to happen, we're going to transition. Right now, I think we're kind of have been in the middle of a transition from post-spawn to true summer patterns and summertime areas that are holding fish. As that continues, as these more and more fish get out there, that summertime bite's going to get more consistent and more consistent day by day, week by week. So it's actually going to make, believe it or not, the hotter it gets, the better this fishing is going to get this summer on Lake Fork. We've got several guys to read reports from. Before we get into those, let me say one more thing real quick. If you want to book a trip with any of our guides, myself included, or any of the other guides mentioned, along with several other guides that we won't mention tonight, you can always book a guide trip at yourlakeforkguide.com. I would highly suggest getting a guide trip this summer. July, August, it doesn't matter. It's going to be one of the best summer bites we've had in many, many, many years. And you want to take advantage of that, so go get your guide trip at yourlakeforkguide.com. I'm getting hot sitting in this garage because I'm talking so fast.
Yeah.
Am I talking fast?
Yeah.
Would you like to read some reports?
Yeah.
Do you know any of these terminologies in here?
Maybe. Some of them.
All right, we're going to find out.
Okay.
First report is from who?
Cody Mays.
Cody Mays. Go ahead.
Cody Mays. Okay. Conditions have kind of slowed down as kind of late. The fish are still in the 15 to 25 foot range off of sides of points, ridges, or roadbeds. We are starting our mornings on shallow roadbeds with topwaters and shaky heads and plum or green pumpkin. These are active brim beds on these roadbeds. Fish these brim beds thoroughly. After mid-morning, I'm pulling out on side of points, deeper roadbeds, pond dams, or offshore submerged structure. These fish aren't just on every point. You will have to use your graphs to locate these schools. When you do locate them, we are still catching quality fish using 7-inch or 9-inch, that's an inch, right?
7-inch? Yeah, that's the inch. Yes, ma'am.
Shaky head and plum or green pumpkin, as well as the Carolina rig with smoke on the water, impact shad, or a plum 6 cents, hog wallow or bubble fry, and watermelon red. Also, with all this heat, please stay hydrated. Great insight.
Look at that. Please stay hydrated. Hey, she's trying to learn the fishing terminology. She's still pretty new to it. But yeah, so Cody's starting this morning around brim beds. He's still finding some brim beds. On the main lake, though, on a little bit shallower, mid-depth type of road beds off the sides of them, finding some brim beds, targeting those with those shaky head worms. And what else did he say? You just read it, so they heard it. I don't know why I'm repeating it. And then he's going out deep with the bigger shaky head worms and the Carolina rig with the impact shad. All good stuff right there from Cody Mays. Next up, we got David Ozio. He said, interesting transition over the past couple of weeks. And I do think, before we get into David's, I do think there has been some transitioning. Like I was speaking about, I mentioned it earlier. From post-spawn to summer-style spots, so to speak. Like these fish are transitioning out of, it's post-spawn, they gathered up on the first structure they came to and started busting everything they could and eating because they're hungry. Okay, now it's getting hot. We've got to deal with oxygen depletion. We've got to deal with warmer water temperatures. So now they're going to their summertime areas. I will tell you guys in general, well, actually I'll let you read my report because it has some of that in there.
Alright.
So that's what's happening. So now let's read David's report. It says, we were smashing them in 20 to 28 foot. Then all of a sudden, that came to a screeching halt as of 3 days ago. Skeeter owners tournament? Really don't think so. Early summer temps eclipsing 100 degrees may well be the culprit. I've seen it happen in the past in July, and that was without any wind. We've had plenty of wind lately, and they have found a great place to hide, as all of you know. The drop shot has been my main tool of destruction. David's a heck of a writer. He writes artistically. Using a red bug zoom trick worm, we have stuck with this for the past 2 weeks and done rather well. My second choice has been a 3/4 ounce 6 cent swing shake with a zoom magnum trick worm. As of this writing, it looks like I will need to move a bit shallower to the 10 to 15 foot range. When lake temps heat up, the oxygen content usually disintegrates in the deepest parts of the lake, and big bass look to suspend or take up residence on shallower break lines where windy days generate oxygen. I still think these fish will be close to wood, whether a tree or brush pile. A big worm Texas rig will work in both those instances. Stay sharp and keep trying different tactics. So David's telling you the bite's changing. Bite's changing. All right, you want to read my report?
Of course.
All right, last report's going to be from yours truly, Billy Lawson. Go ahead, babe.
Things are a-changing.
Things, they are changing, folks.
Bass are beginning to reposition to summer haunts with this crazy heat we're having. He is beginning to see fish in areas he doesn't. Okay, let me read it down. I'm beginning to see fish in areas I normally don't see them until July or even August. Think smaller tops with sharper drops.
Pause. Smaller tops with sharper drops is a big deal. Okay. Basically, when these fish pull out in post spawn, they'll get on elongated flat points, elongated road beds in deeper water, things like that have these long ridges to them, and they'll roam up and down, feeding on these shad. Hey, we just had dinner a little while ago, got a little indigestion. It's raw and real here, your Lake Fork guy, just so you know. They'll get on those elongated areas and roam a little bit more and chase those shad. As the heat sets in and the oxygen starts depleting in the water, like Dave was talking about, these fish will look for areas where they don't have to work as hard. They'll try to take advantage of, instinctually, they'll get on these areas that have a smaller feeding plateau where they can slowly build and work those shad up to that smaller top, ambush them, and then get into deeper water without wasting as much energy. Everything becomes about preserving energy and getting the most bang for their buck on their meal as we get into summer. So like I said, that's what I mean when I say smaller tops, sharper drops. Look for those type of structures. Continue on, please.
Humps and pond dams are really beginning to play, and a key factor has become brush. The bass I'm catching seem to love brush piles right now. Points and roadbeds are still holding some at times in 15 to 20 foot but the brush piles and humpfish seem to be setting up in about 8 to 12 feet from me. Baits I'm catching on include the swinging biggie head with...
That was supposed to say bifflehead. That's a little... The iPhone got me on the autocorrect, folks. The swinging bifflehead is what we're talking about.
Okay. With creature baits in bluegill type colors, big 3/4 ounce jigs in
Same type colors.
same type colors, brown and green. Also, the big shaky head and Carolina rig are still working as well. The bubble fry from Smash Tech has taken over as my Carolina rig bait lately. Thanks for reading. Hope y'all catch more and bigger bass this week.
There you go. So that's all 3 of our reports from our guides this week. We'll do these every 2 weeks. Actually, 2 weeks from now will be our tournament. So we're going to kind of be thrown off by a week. I don't know how we're going to handle it. You might get you might get a 1 week report next week, since we're going to be doing a seminar and all that stuff at our tournament that we have. So maybe we'll have another one of these report videos this next week. If not, look for it to come 3 weeks from now. We're going to keep these going. Once we get past this crazy summer schedule, we should be able to settle this series into more of a regular scheduled deal every other week. Right now, things have been kind of hectic with the guide schedule. Summertime schedule with my children is a little off the normal routine that it is during the school year. So things have been a little difficult to keep on track here lately, right, babe?
Right, bud.
It's just been it's just been strap in and hold on for dear life is what it's felt like around here. I can tell you that. So y'all give the princess, that's her official channel name is Princess Laney. Give the princess a shout out in the comments. Let her know about her reading skills. She's got some work to do on the terminology. She's got to learn some of that. We'll get her there though. She's just beginning her bass fishing adventures.
Oh yeah. Call me Bill Dance.
Call you Bill Dance. Are you excited about getting into this fishing deal?
Yeah.
Because you really are just beginning this.
Yeah, for sure. If any of y'all know Bill Dance, I would like to fish with him.
You want to fish Bill Dance?
Yes.
No big deal. She just, not high hopes or anything.
I'll just reach out to him and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, he should know who you are by now.
That's what I've been saying.
By the way, folks, if you've enjoyed the last couple videos from On the Water that we did this past week, give her a shout out for that too, because she actually did the filming and basically all the editing on those as well. So.
Past couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to add before we go?
Stay hydrated, like Cody said.
Stay hydrated, like Cody said. Uh-huh. All right. Well, you guys, thank y'all for watching so much as always. We do have a lot of fun getting out and making these videos for you, and we couldn't do it if it wasn't for each and every one of y'all. So we sincerely appreciate it, and we will see you guys next time right here. Where we going to see them?
Oh, babe, don't do that to me.
You're supposed to do it. Well, you know what to say.
Well, I'm taking over the channel now. So.
You're taking over.
So, I'm going to change the name.
You're going to change the name.
To Your Better Lake Fork Guide.
I think you're going to have to start your own channel for that. But we will see you next time right here on your Lake Fork Guide.